Hello and welcome. In this video we will show you the most effective way to put in a hearing aid with a standard mould and then how to take it out again. First, let's check that the hearing aid is working. The simplest way of doing this is by closing the battery door to turn it on. We'll wait for about 5 to 10 seconds for the hearing aid to turn on. Then, if it's working, it should make a noise. There we go. If the hearing aid doesn't make a noise, check if the tubing is blocked with wax. If it's clear, change the batteries and try again. If the hearing aid still doesn't work, then it may be faulty and will need to be returned to where it came from to be fixed. Now let's check we're putting the hearing aid in the correct ear. Now this is the right hand side hearing aid. How do I know? There is a red dot here. Blue means left, red means right. On most hearing aids you will find either red or blue somewhere on the hearing aid. Now, let's take a closer look at the ear mould. There are a few things to be aware of. We have the top spike which helps keep the ear mould in place. It fits into the flap at the top of the ear. It's very important to make sure the ear mould is fitting into this flap properly. I'll explain more later. Notice how the mould is a conical shape. Without the other part to help keep the ear mould in place, the action of your jaw when talking or eating would force the ear mould out of the ear. So let's get ready to put this into the ear. Some people find this easier sat at a desk in front of a mirror. We put the mould into the ear first. Start by making sure you're holding the hearing aid the right way. It's best to hold the soft plastic tube rather than the mould. This will give you a good grip as well as being in a good position to hold the hearing aid. Now, line the ear mould up with your ear. The inner part needs to face the ear. Make sure the top part is facing upwards and the back part is lined up with the curve of the ear. Push the inner part into the ear mould into your ear, pushing down slightly as it's going in. Once the bottom part is in, you'll feel a kind of click. See how the back part is in properly? Now we need to make sure that the spike is in. If it was left like this, the hearing aid will whistle. It will also rub and could cause a sore, so let's push this bit in. You can pull gently on the upper part of the ear to create more space to put it in if you need to. Close the battery door to turn the hearing aid on, and then put the hearing aid behind the ear like so. In a few seconds, the hearing aid should be working. Now, let's look at taking the hearing aid out again. Now you might be thinking, why do we need a video on this? Well, let me demonstrate. Here I have a hearing aid in a silicone ear. What I've seen so many people do over the years is this. If I were to pull any harder, what do you think will happen? Yeah, the tube will come out of the ear mould. Now we have a problem, as the tube will not go back into the ear mould. It will need a brand new tube fitted, otherwise it's going to whistle. If by some chance you manage to get the tube back in, this indicates that the tube was not a tight fit in the first place. It will be loose and it will whistle. It will also have left the ear mould inside the ear. So how can we take the hearing aid out of the ear without putting on the tube? Like most things, once you know, it's easy. The first step to taking the hearing aid out is opening the battery door to turn it off. Then use your finger, push down on the outer part of the ear. This will expose the curved back of the ear mould. Carefully push your finger in, prizing the ear mould away from the ear. Once you've got a good grip, pull the ear mould backwards and away from the ear without twisting. All done. Every night, once you've taken the hearing aid out, use an antiseptic wet wipe to give it a quick clean. This wipes away the build-up of wax on the mould along with any germs or bacteria, reducing the chances of ear infections. It's a good idea to have a box to store the hearing aid in to keep it safe and secure. Ideally it'd be brightly coloured, but clearly marked with the person's name and whether it goes into the left or the right ear. So that's how we get the hearing aid in and out of the ear. Thanks for listening.